There have been quite a few new Xbox game announcements over the past week, and even a couple of games that are also coming to Xbox Game Pass very soon. It has certainly been a very busy week for games in the Team Green camp, and I will be covering all 13 of these in today's video. Do also watch out for the Xbox Game Pass icon on screen now, so you know which ones are coming to the service very soon. My name is Fletcher, and this is Xbox Nation, and with that out of the way, let's dive right into these awesome new game announcements coming your way. So first up, we actually got a game announcement that was revealed at the Nintendo Direct, and it is coming day one onto Xbox Game Pass, and it's called Witchbrook. Now, as a long-time fan of games like Stardew Valley and the life sim genre in general, I've been following Chucklefish's upcoming magical school RPG for years. Honestly, I could hardly believe that I was finally seeing it in action at this Nintendo Direct. This nice showing actually gave us a very good look at the bustling seaside city of Mossport and also the surrounding woodlands and Witchbrook College. In this game though, you will be making friends, finding different romance amidst a cast of characters, and also spending time between classes by foraging in the deep woodland, and they're just a few aspects of the game on offer at the moment. The game will also feature up to 4-player online co-op, allowing you to craft your own unique stories and experience Witch Academia together. I find this all incredibly appealing, and it's on top of Witchbrook's beautiful pixel art aesthetic. This one, as I mentioned, does come to Xbox and day one with Xbox Game Pass sometime this winter. Atlas popped up at a Nintendo Direct showcase to reveal RAIDOU Remastered, The Mystery of the Soulless Army, which is actually an updated take on the second entry in the PS2 supernatural RPG series known as Devil Summoner. This remaster will be arriving onto the Xbox Series consoles on the 19th of June this year. For those of you though who have never touched this one back in the early 2000s, this is an expansion of the Shin Megami Tensei series, where you actually play as a titular detective solving different crimes around the capital city. Oh, and if I didn't mention, you can also speak to ghosts and recruit them to help in your investigations, and to be honest, I expected no less from an Atlas creation. It might not be quite as popular as its Persona cousin, but this might be right up your street, especially if you're after a different tasting slice of the S&T style action. This next game is one you may have seen a very brief sniff of before, but it's now arriving just around the corner. Shadow Labyrinth is an utterly bonkers riff on Pac-Man and the side-scrolling Metroidvania games, and it will hit digital store shelves on the 18th of July. The game actually casts you as Swordsman number 8 as he befriends a yellow orb called Puck. For the gaming historians out there, Puckman was the original name for Pac-Man. The gameplay though involves switching from the classic sword-wielding hero to Puck, with the latter able to crawl on walls and gobble up, of course, yellow dots. There's also a third form known as a mecha construct called Gaia. The gameplay looks very frenetic and fairly violent, which seems like an odd choice for everyone's favourite perpetually hungry orb. I can't wait to see where they've taken this dark and twisted turn, again when it arrives on the Xbox Series consoles on the 18th of July. Now, GRADIUS Origins is an upcoming shoot-'em-up collection that will be blasting onto Xbox on the 7th of August, and I have to say, this one looks pretty awesome. The Origins bundle gathers together some of the biggest names in the GRADIUS series, with the original GRADIUS trilogy, the Salamander duo, and Life Force all included. Many of these arcade classics will come with a bunch of regional variants for you to check out though, with the collection boasting 17 different ways to play the 6 games within this collection. But that's not all though. GRADIUS Origins also bundles in a brand new shoot 'em up, Salamander 3, providing even more bullet dodging action for you to sink your teeth into. There's a bunch of course modern bells and whistles thrown into these arcade classics too, with a chance to rewind, change difficulty, set checkpoints and so much more. If you want to dive into the nostalgia or just play these games for the very first time, now's your chance to do so this year. I bet you didn't notice that we also had another showcase this week, and it was called Dreamhaven, and this actually saw some pretty awesome titles being announced for Xbox. There are 2 internal studios within Dreamhaven, with the first working on and revealing a game known as Sunderfolk. It's a cooperative tactics RPG that takes the core elements of tabletop games and applies them to a console, and also lets people control them with their phones, Jackbox Party Pack style. Sunderfolk looks to capture that same energy as the tabletop games like Dungeons & Dragons. It does look like a lot of fun to debate what move needs to be made next with your fellow party members. You can even name some characters, locations, and items that reappear throughout the campaign, really adding some personal flair to your own adventure. It actually arrives fairly soon though, on the 23rd of April, and it will cost $50 upon release, which to be honest is a pretty decent price point, especially for a newer but cool looking brand new IP. Wildgate is a crew-based sci-fi game where you can fight in first person or in ship-to-ship combat in space, and I'm so intrigued by this announcement that seemingly came out of nowhere. It's like a battle royale game where you can maneuver and fight in ships or close with each other in first-person action on the decks of these different ships. There are actually 5 of them to choose from, and each has a multiplayer crew of up to 4 players. You will essentially go around and search for upgrades for your ship, but you also have to try and find an artifact and then escape through the Windgate with that said artifact. The devs have said there's a lot going on with each of these games, so they can last a little bit longer than you're used to, but not as long as something like a Call of Duty Warzone Battle Royale game. To be honest though, I'm loving the art direction here, and I cannot say no to another awesome co-op game when it comes to Xbox sometime later this year. The barista/bar manager genre is really booming these days, and it's getting its biggest title yet in Disney Villain's Cursed Cafe. This is actually a visual novel where you'll need to serve some of the most notorious ne'er-do-wells in entertainment history. That includes the likes of Ursula, Gaston, Jafar, and just so many more. You'll essentially need to brew up different potions to determine the direction of their story, with multiple endings and visual novel gameplay digging deeper into the personalities of each of the antagonists. The game is out right now though as a shadow drop on the Xbox Series X and S consoles and is available for just £11.99. It certainly seems like a very interesting idea for fans of Disney and for anyone who enjoys a good visual novel. In some pretty great news, we are finally seeing Monument Valley 3 being freed from the shackles of Netflix, and it's heading to Xbox consoles this summer. And if you can't wait until then, Monument Valley 1 and 2 will also be coming this April. If you're not aware of what these games entail, then let me give you a very brief rundown. In essence, you'll be guiding Nor through breathtaking, impossible landscapes, manipulating different structures, and shifting perspectives to uncover some hidden paths and solve some intricate puzzles. The games here have always seen some incredibly high praise, simply due to the fact that the puzzles here are very well thought out, the story behind each of them is very in-depth and memorable, and the art style is very simplistic but beautiful. Honestly, I can't wait to try out these awesome looking puzzle games. We don't have to wait much longer either to see what all the hype is really about. In what has to be my favourite surprise from the Nintendo Direct, it was announced that we are getting a brand new Marvel beat-em-up that not only looks like TMNT Shredder's Revenge, but also features designs seemingly cribbed from Marvel vs. Capcom. Marvel Cosmic Invasion will be hitting the Xbox One and Xbox Series consoles later this year, and it gives me some goosebumps just watching the sprite work. While this particular game isn't based on any specific comic storyline, Cosmic Invasion will see the villain Annihilus do battle against Nova alongside some legendary Marvel heroes. The roster here will include the aforementioned character, as well as Spider-Man, Wolverine, Venom, Storm, and Captain America. The Xbox store page also mentions that 15 characters will be playable, so you can expect to see possibly more X-Men and Avengers jump into the fray. What do you think about this new Marvel game? You'll have to let me know in the comments below. You may have seen Castle Country pop up on other platforms before. It's an exceptionally cozy life sim that has been described as something of a mashup of Stardew Valley and Red Dead Redemption, and it has been in the works for quite some while. But the developer Castle Pixel has now had a say, and it will be coming to Xbox on the very same day as the other platforms. I still don't know when it will be released yet, but I do know that a playable demo will be launched onto Xbox on the 30th of April. In this game though, you'll be able to get the chance to create a new life in the Wild West, building up your own farm and your ranch, while getting to know the town's inhabitants and defending your property from bandits in the search for cattle. There are a whopping 18 potential love interests for you to explore, and if you're on a more adventurous side, you can also dig for gold and gems in deep mines. For those of you though who prefer to get out in the wild, there's also a chance to hunt game in the surrounding forests, both for thrills and to replenish your food supply. Of course, you'll also be battling bandits, so if you want a sort of cowboy game in that pixel art direction like Stardew Valley, then definitely have this one on your radar. As a bit of surprise for this week, we actually saw a pretty big shadow drop onto Xbox Game Pass. If you were waiting to get your sporting boots on, well, good news. EA Sports College Football 25 is now available on Xbox Game Pass via EA Play as part of your Xbox Game Pass Ultimate or PC subscription. I know college football fans from across the US and across several continents have talked about the unique atmosphere of college football games. When EA made College Football 25, they focused entirely on capturing that atmosphere, and to be honest, from reviews so far, it looks as though it was an excellent entry that fans absolutely adored. Some reviews have even said that this game is the best American football game in over a decade, with a career mode that will take over your life. If you like sports and want to dive into some high energy football action, then you can do so right now as it's available today. Following the reveal of Lewis Hamilton starring on the F1 25 Iconic Edition cover on Monday, EA Sports has announced additional details regarding the upcoming racing game, which will be released this year on the 30th of May for both the Xbox Series consoles. And yes, that means it will be skipping last-gen consoles entirely. If you're like me, you can be excited, as the game will also be continuing the Breaking Point story mode. EA Sports is promising a major overhaul of the popular My Team mode, which appears to be focusing on the management side of things. It looks like players will take on more responsibility and can jump into races as either one of their two team drivers. There also seems to be a massive improvement to several tracks that will enhance the game's visual aspects and make it the best looking F1 game we've ever seen. As usual though, for any EA Sports release, F1 25 will reportedly feature a 10-hour Xbox Game Pass trial for those of you who are subscribed to either PC Game Pass or Xbox Game Pass Ultimate, allowing you to try this one before you buy. IO Interactive, the team behind the Hitman series, has announced that it will be publishing new AAA blockbuster MindsEye this summer. This is the one developed by a brand new studio called Builder Rocket Boy. With an official Xbox Series X and S release date on the 10th of June, MindsEye looks to thrill players with its story-driven action-adventure thriller set in a fictional near-future Americana. The team also says the game will feature best-in-class cinematics, high-octane driving, and explosive combat, which sounds like a very nice recipe. If you're screaming GTA at your screen while looking at any of this footage on screen now, well, former Rockstar president Leslie Benzies is directing MindsEye, with some clear influences from his past work. Benzies was the lead developer from GTA 3 right up to GTA 5, so it's very safe to say that the bloke has some pedigree behind him when it comes to blockbuster action games. Are you going to try out MindsEye before GTA 6 comes later this year? You'll have to let me know down below. So, what game announcement are you looking forward to? Let me know in the comments below. Remember to smash that like button if you enjoyed this video, and subscribe for more Xbox content every single day. A big shout out to our channel members as well for your continued support, and if you would like to join to get access to videos early, behind the scenes content, discounts and so much more, then click that join button below for as little as $2.99. Whilst here though, why don't you check out my most recent video on screen now, as I covered the massive Xbox update for the past week. There are some interesting additions here, from Xbox Game Pass perks, cloud gaming and so much more.